Hi, it's time to get stuck in. So make sure you've done one of my warm-up classes, please. Thanks. And then get stuck into this. Great. Or if you're adding on to another workout, also good. So we are going to start in a tabletop position. Sorry. He loves tabletops. He lives in the tabletop. Anyway, wrists underneath shoulders and knees underneath hips. Feet directly behind the knees. Just checking mine off. Lovely. We are going to extend the right leg back behind us. Finding a gentle calf stretch. And then squeeze this bum cheek. I want you to really think about keeping the pelvis in line. Imagine you had a tray of drinks on your back or something like that. You don't want to spill it, especially if it's hot tea. So squeeze that bum, lift that leg, keeping that tray balanced. Lovely. And then just play with turning out the toes and rotating them back towards the floor. Trying to keep that tray still balanced on your back. So the rotation is coming right from deep within the hip joint. Just get a feel for that. Lovely. And then lower that leg back down. And then lift it up. Toes pointing towards the floor again. And this time you can allow your pelvis to move as you draw your knee towards your elbow. And then extending it back. I should probably be facing the other way so you can see. So, extending the leg back and drawing it in to tap that elbow. Extending it back and drawing it in. Extending it back, toes pointing towards the floor. Drawing it in one last time. Stepping it back. Lovely. And then lowering the knee to the floor. We'll go on the other side, so we'll turn around again. Extending that left leg back. Keeping that tray nicely balanced. Lifting that leg. And then playing with turning out the toes and turning them back towards the floor. How small can you make that movement? How balanced can you keep that tray? Lovely. And then lowering the foot back to the floor. Lifting it up again. And allowing a bit more movement this time, drawing the knee to the elbow. Extending back. Let's do 4. So 2. Lovely. 3. Nice. 4. Lovely. Extending it back. Knee to the floor. I'm going to turn around again because we're going to do one more bit here. So stepping the right foot back again, long. Lifting it up. Turning the toes out and in and out and in. Dropping the toes back towards the floor and then stepping them so that they're in line with your left leg, particularly the knee. And we're going to rotate, flip the left shin so that it's parallel with the short edge of the mat and roll over onto the right foot so that the foot is fully on the floor. And then squeeze the hips. Reach your right fingertips to the sky. Press the left hand into the floor. Really squeeze that bum in supported side plank. Lovely. And plant that hand back down. Come back to tabletop. Changing sides. Extending the left leg back. Squeezing it up. Turning the toes out and in, out, in. Lovely. And then dropping the toes to the floor, stepping them in line with your right knee. Right shin twists so that it's parallel with the short edge. Coming onto the sole of your left foot, squeezing your bum, lifting your hips, reaching the left fingertips for the sky. Imagine you're a slice of bread in a toaster, except for your right shin, right lower leg. Lovely, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And coming back to tabletop. Lovely. Taking a brief wide legs child's pose. Sinking the hips back towards the heels. And then pressing up into downward facing dog. Lovely. And walking the hands back towards the feet. Coming into a fold. Heel toeing the feet out about mat width apart. Toes slightly pointing out from the heels, so about 30, 45 degrees-ish. And we're going to sit down into a yogi squat. So you might want to roll up the back of your mat so that you've got a bit of lift under your heels. You might want to be on your tiptoes if you need that extra space, but if you can, rooting your feet to the floor. I hope you can see me properly. So it's like this. Lovely. Beautiful. Taking some breaths here. Feeling those juicy spots, maybe gently moving side to side. And then from here, we're going to squeeze the bum, lift the hips and fold forwards again. And then we're going to sink back down into yogi squat. I'm going to repeat that a few times. So it looks like this. And join in when you're ready. So yogi squat. Squeeze the bum, lift the hips, fold. Lovely. Sinking back down, using your hands on the ground as much as you need. And fold. And sink. And fold. And sink back down to yogi squat. And fold. This time in yogi squat, planting the right fingertips just out in front of the right toes. Extend the left fingertips to the sky, opening up. Again, I'll come here to demo, sorry. There we go. Lovely. And then swapping, so left fingertips come to the left foot, right fingertips reach for the sky. Opening out. Lovely. Coming back to the floor, walking the hands forwards. You're back here, I'm not. Walking the hands forwards to plank. Let's hold plank for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then let's lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Squeezing the bum, hips and knees off the floor. Lovely. And exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. From here, inhaling the right leg to the sky. Exhaling, stepping it through. Hello. What are you up to? Rising to high crescent lunge. Thinking about having a gentle engagement here, so not sinking too much. Finding a slight tucking sensation of the pelvis. Kicking back through that back heel. There's a good boy. Option to have hands on the hips, or you can reach fingertips to the sky. If you reach fingertips to the sky, think about bringing your pinky fingers in towards each other. Lovely. Hips facing forwards. Knee over ankle. Catching myself out. Lovely. And then opening out into Warrior Two. Heel to arch alignment. Bending into that right front knee. Stacking shoulders over hips. Pressing into the outer edge of that back foot. Gazing over that front middle finger. If you glance down, hopefully you can see your big toe. If you can't, think about opening this knee so that you can. Lovely. And then reaching forwards, flipping the palm and reaching up and over, coming to reverse warrior. Option to float the left hand alongside the back leg, or you can wrap it round behind you, maybe hold a top, maybe hold your thigh. Keep that lovely bend in that front knee. Opening out, see if you can open your armpit to the sky. Rooting into the back edge of the foot. Lovely. And then coming to extended side angle. Right elbow comes to right knee. Extending left arm overhead. Finding space between the right ear and right shoulder. Lovely. Bringing that hand to the floor and the other hand coming into a wide leg fold. So both toes pointing to the long edge of your mat. And allowing yourself to fold forwards. Maybe fingertips come in line with the feet. If you can, taking a 90-degree bend at the elbows here, but being careful not to lock your legs. Have a gentle little bend. And really pressing into the outer edges of the feet to stabilize. Lovely. And then bringing your hands slightly further forwards so that you can use them to help lift you up. We're going to come to a flat back. Take a breath here. And then we're going to squeeze the bum, lift up to stand, turn the heels inwards and the toes out and adjust as you need. We're going to come to Goddess. So sinking the bum down, opening the arms into cactus position. Really think about tucking that pelvis under, opening those knees. Lovely, it's a powerful pose. Beautiful, and then rising back up to stand, hands to hips, pivoting on your feet and walking them out so that you come to high crescent lunge again. Hands come to the floor, stepping back to plank. Option to take child's pose or move through a vinyasa with me. So lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Everyone meeting in downward facing dog when you're ready. Lovely. Think about closing the gap between your lower ribs and your hips. Really pressing all of your palms and finger pads into the floor. Check to see if bits of your hands are lifting up. And see, can you really focus on pressing those into the mat? And then with your next inhale, lifting the left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping through, rising to high crescent lunge. Checking even nice, juicy bend in that front knee. Hopefully the knee is behind the toes, the hips pointing forwards. Pinky fingers wrapping in towards each other. Lovely. And then we're going to open out into Warrior Two. I might switch around in a second, but it's useful for you to see poses from different points of view. So both fingertips reaching to each edge of the room, shoulders over hips. Checking, can you see that left big toe if you glance down? Pressing into the outer edge of that right foot. Lovely. And then reaching forwards and up and over. Again, option to float the hand, option to wrap it around. Lovely. Keeping that bend in the front knee, opening the armpit to the sky, rooting down into your right outer edge of the foot. Lovely. And then coming to extended side angle, so left elbow comes to left knee, reaching up and over. Finding space between the ear and the shoulder. Checking you're not sinking like I was for a second there. Let's be honest. And then hands come to the floor, walking them round to a wide-legged fold once more. Now I'm going to change. Not going to have my bum in your face. Right. Let's fold. Let's take a little twist. So planting the left hand sort of underneath your chest, bringing the right hand so your palm comes to your sacrum, and then rolling that shoulder, opening it out. Maybe pressing into that left hand actually. Gazing over the shoulder if you can, or anywhere that's comfortable if that's not comfortable. And if that feels okay, extending the right fingertips to the sky. Lovely. And coming to the floor, swapping hands. Left palm comes to the sacrum, right palm to the floor. Rolling and opening across that shoulder. Gazing up if you can, but not forcing it. And then opening the fingertips to the sky if that feels good. Breathing. Lovely. And bringing it back down to the floor. Hands coming in front of you to help you come up to halfway lift, flat back in wide leg. And then squeezing the bum, coming to stand, coming upright, sinking to goddess again. Wobbles are good. Embrace the wobbles. So, opening arms out to cactus, finding a tucking sensation of the pelvis. Lovely. Opening those knees. It's a real intense one. Squeezing that bum. Lovely. If you can, I'll just do it side on. Try and think about keeping your spine neutral and long. And really think about tucking. See, I really have to think about tucking that tailbone. Otherwise it wants to do this. Lovely. And coming to stand. Pivoting on your toes. Coming back to high crescent lunge. You'll be on the other side. And then framing the foot. Stepping back to plank. Lowering down. Knees, chest, chin. Full or half chaturanga. Your choice. You can even come to child's pose again if you'd like. Lowering down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely. And then inhaling, coming onto your tippy toes. Exhaling, bending the knees, looking forwards. And hopping to the front of your mat. Lovely. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. And exhale, hands come to prayer at heart center. Let's move to the floor, shall we? So if you'd like, you can move there gracefully, or you can take another yogi squat with me and see if you can play with sitting onto your bum straight from there. Lovely. So for starters, let's come into cow face pose. So you might want to extend the left leg in front of you, then cross the right leg over to work it out, and then tuck that left leg into the right side of your bum. You might want to block here, might want to sit on a block. Let's all start with that and then adjust as we can. If this is too intense, I'll give another option. But we're going to bring both soles of the feet off the mat so they're facing up or back. And I find sometimes shifting forwards and then sitting back helps find this stacking of the knees that we're looking for, but do not force that at all. If you feel any twinges in your knees, please back off and I'll give another option. But yes, we're looking for rooted sit bones, feet open, knees vaguely stacked. Lovely. And if that's all right, you can remove that block. Just check you can still sit evenly on both sit bones. Lovely. And whichever knee is on top, so if you followed my direction, then your right leg is on top. The right arm is going to go underneath your left arm. And we'll take eagle arms. So if you can wrap them fully, great. No worries if not. If your arms are here, that's totally fine. But the feeling we're going for is rolling the shoulders back and down, pushing your elbows away from you and lifting them up. So there's 3 things to think about there. Shoulders down, pushing them away, lifting them up. Maybe I should be on an angle so you can see a bit better. Lovely. And if you're interlaced hands, then you can press palms together. Lovely. Breathing. Smiling. Maybe, hopefully. Lovely. And release. Oh, I said I'd give another option. Sorry. If you'd like to take another option, just cross your legs. So right in front of left to start with. And take a forward fold. So hopefully that will stretch out your hips similarly. And just allow yourself to fold and breathe in cross-legged. So moving on from there, I'll give the option first this time. So we're going to come into double pigeon, which might be quite intense. Another option is to do figure 4 stretch. So you might do this at the gym. You've probably done it before, but flexing this right foot, tucking it behind the left thigh, knee, and what's under there? Oh, my hair. And then allowing your shoulders and head to come to the floor and squeezing your left thigh towards you, but flexing this right foot. That's the option. So, anyone else coming with me? Again, option. Might want blocks around. So we're going to do double pigeon. So here, the right foot, again, you want to think about flexing that, rests on top of the left knee or just above the left knee, not directly on the knee joint. And then, obviously, I'm super flexible in my hips, but the impressed guys. And then you want to think about your right knee over your left foot. So you might want blocks under your knee on the floor. Sorry, you can't quite see that, but under there. You might want to sit on a block. But to find a bit more room, again, if you find any twinges in your knees, please back off and do a figure four instead. You're not going to help anyone. And then if you're here, you might find a bit more room in this pose by first gazing up, lifting the chest. And be lifting your arms to the sky, sort of almost kind of locking your shoulders, armpits area. That for me does actually really help find a bit more room. Now you're impressed, right? Probably not. It's all good. It's not about forcing anything. We can't all do it. We're all built differently. Okay, and then releasing that. Giving the legs a little wiggle. Lovely. And we'll go on the other side. So, again, option. So this time, maybe right leg out long, left leg crosses over, tucking the right leg behind you, shifting your weight forwards to stack the knees, sitting on a block if you need to. Again, if this is too much, please sit cross-legged with your left foot in front this time and fold forwards. Lovely. So left knee on top, that means left arm underneath this time. So think about drawing those shoulders back and down and pressing your elbows away and lifting up. Lovely. And again, no difference if your arms are not together. And breathing. Lovely. Seeing if you can be sitting evenly on both sit bones. Nice. And releasing. Coming to double pigeon on this side or figure four. So options, options. So this time, left foot flexed just above the knee, not on the knee joint probably is best. You could take a block to support that knee, or you might want to sit on a block. Whatever you like, whatever feels good. And slightly juicy, let's be honest. So yes, shins kind of parallel, knees and feet should be stacked, ideally. In an ideal world. And then lifting the chest, finding a bit more room. You can use your fingertips. And then, if you can, lifting the arms to the sky. Again, might help you find a bit more room in those hips. Lovely. And the sun's just awakening today for me, so that's nice timing. A reward. Lovely. And then releasing from your double pigeon or your figure four. Extending the legs out long again. Having a little wiggle. It's key. And then we'll come into a boat. So fingertips slightly behind you, slightly out to the sides. Lifting one shin so that it's parallel with the floor, and then the other. And then extending the arms out long, if you can release that. Lovely. Think about opening across the chest. Beautiful. Staying here for a few breaths if you can. And if you'd like a bit more play, wrapping your peace fingers, peace man, around your big toes, extending the legs long and opening wide, balancing on your sit bones. Lovely. And bringing them back together. Coming to boat. Lowering the feet to the floor. And then extending the legs out long. The arms out long, tucking the tailbone and slowly rolling down. So your head comes down last. Lovely. Now here, I would like to take a waterfall pose. So you might want to press pause and stay here for a while. But it's nice just to lift the hips a little. Can you see that? I'll shuffle back a little. So my block is underneath my sacrum that we had our palm on earlier when we did the wide leg forward fold twist. And I'm just going to extend the legs up to the sky, soles of the feet facing to the sky, arms out wide, palms to the ceiling. And just allowing your sacroiliac joint to relax into that block or book or floor. It's fine if it's on the floor as well. You can even move to a wall and have your legs up the wall. It's delicious. Anyway, staying here as long as you like. If you're coming with me, lowering the feet to the floor, removing the block, and we'll come to a happy baby. So bringing the soles of the feet to face the sky. You can either take hold of the outer edge of the feet, or again, peace fingers around the big toes. I'm going to take hold of the outer edge of the feet. If this is a bit much for you, you could take a strap around the feet and hold that, because ideally you want your shoulders relaxed into the floor. Or you could hug behind your knees and draw them in towards your armpits. That's the word. And then it's a happy baby pose, so have a bit of fun here. Move around if you'd like. Kick your feet around if you'd like. Think about your tailbone releasing down towards the floor and your shoulders relaxing into the floor as much as possible as well. Lovely. And then releasing those, squeezing the right leg, knee into the chest, extending the left leg long. We'll take a little twist. So right arm extends out to the side. Left hand guides the right knee over to the left for a juicy twist. Keeping your right shoulder into the floor if you can. And maybe gazing out over that right arm. Nice. And drawing the knee back into the chest, switching sides, extending the right leg out long. Extending the left arm out to the side. Right hand guides left knee over to the right. Lovely. Then coming back to center, extending the legs long, and coming to Shavasana. Now it would be great if you have time to stay here for 5-10 minutes. If not, no worries, but I will leave you here. Maybe you want to put on a jumper, get a blanket, some socks. Maybe put on some nice chill music and enjoy. If ever your lower back starts to get sore with your legs long in Shavasana, you can either roll up a blanket or towel and put it under your knees, or you can bring the soles of your feet to the ground and just come to a semi-supine position instead. When you're ready, do not get up like that. Get up nice and slowly, roll over to one side and press yourself up to a seat. Thank you very much for practicing with me. Namaste.